everybody, how are you doing today? Today I am bringing you my update for when I did a whole bunch of first impressions of a bunch of stuff. I'll link that video below if you haven't seen it. Basically, I did a video with like 10 new first impressions. Whenever I do a first impressions video, I like to then bring you an update. So I love the idea of first impressions and what you think of something when you first use it, but that's not the end all and be all of a review, of course, as we all know. So I have been using these things now for what, like almost 3 weeks? And I've been using them very consistently. I've been using them a lot, so I can actually tell you what I think more and more about each one of these things. And then I also have a couple things from when I did my throwback video that I also wanted to throw into this and just kind of give you an update with this Kat Von D concealer and setting powder. So this is this was a like gift with purchase type sample. There's a lot in here though. I've used this quite a few times, and then I did buy the new Lock It setting powder as well. So I've seen a few people do reviews on these. I think one thing that is consistent that I have found that I've heard in all the reviews is that this is a very thick full coverage concealer. Like if you are looking for full coverage, you will get it with this concealer. So it does have kind of like a pointed applicator, kind of like a triangular applicator, which I really like. It is very flexible as well. It applies very well to the face. This blends out really nicely. It's very long lasting. It does crease on me though. That's the only thing. Whether I'm just setting it with powder or if I'm even baking it, it still tends to crease. Now, I've heard a couple of people say they didn't like the powder with it. I have had no issues combining the powder with the concealer. So I think the powder is quite nice for baking. I've used it quite a few times for baking. It's a very like silky smooth powder, and that's why I bought it, because I thought it would be great for the under eye, and I think it is. But with this concealer, it still creases. So I've tried this with other concealers that I know don't crease on me, and I had no issues. So I do really like this powder. I think it's also really nice for all over the face as well. It's very soft, very silky, sets your makeup nicely. It is translucent, so there's no color with it. I really like that powder. I do like the concealer, and I think I will use it up, but I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna go run out and buy it, because I do have other concealers I love that don't crease on me. Maybe that aren't as full coverage, but still work well. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like, I love the coverage on it, but I don't like the creasiness. Now, the foundation I'm wearing today is the foundation that I used in my throwback video, and this is the Covergirl CGSmoothers Hydrating Makeup. You guys, I am so surprised as to how much I actually really like this. Like, I remember using, I don't know if it was this one when I was growing up, but it was in this packaging. That's why I bought this, because of the packaging. Like, I thought it would be the same. And as far as I can tell, like, it really is. This is like, it's definitely a medium coverage, maybe a step below medium. It just evens out my skin tone so beautifully. It gives me a very natural finish. Definitely not full coverage by any means whatsoever, but it just sits nicely on the skin. It's so natural. It feels lightweight. I really have been loving this. I actually surprised myself with how much I really love this. And also the Covergirl Clean powder. Like, this is such a throwback item. So many of us started out with this powder, I think, when we were in high school. And it has that Noxzema smell that's very nostalgic. But I was surprised as to how much I like this. Like, it just sets your makeup really nicely. It doesn't get cakey. I really think this is a great powder. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on both of those, that I have been continuing to use them, and I have been loving them a lot. Okay, so this I have very mixed feelings about. This is the NYX Avant Pop Art Throb palette. So this is, they have 3 in this line, and this is the most colorful of the 3. That is why I bought this, because I wanted a super colorful palette for those times when I just want something very bright and bold. And so that's why I bought this. Now, what I will say is, when I used this in that video, I did not use any kind of base, just like regular eye primer, but no like white or black base. This, it absolutely needs either a white base underneath or a black base underneath to make those colors vibrant and pop. Just by itself, these shadows are almost useless. Like, they don't really, you do not get this color payoff on your eyelid unless you're putting it over a white base or black base. So I've tried it. I tried it a few more times on my eyes, but then I also tested it on my hand with like the NYX, what are those called? You know, the black bean and the white I'll write it below. But those pencils, you know what I'm saying? This orange is actually a really nice transition color or crease color. This kind of pinky beige shade here is a really good transition color. This one is okay for like a highlight. It's not the best thing in the world. The purple works great over white or black. By itself, it's crap. But over white or black, it's gorgeous. The blue over a white base is beautiful. This green over either white or black is beautiful. Same with this. So this is actually, it can be worked with. Like, it can be worked with to achieve that really bright, beautiful look. The only really disappointing shade to me is this gold. Like, this doesn't, it doesn't pay off over almost anything. Like, by itself, it doesn't show up. Over white or black, it doesn't work because it's not really intended to go over those. It's just not that great, that one shade. So that is the only shade that I'm really disappointed in. But just know that if you're buying this, you definitely need to use a base underneath it. I'm wearing this today as my lip liner. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Pencil and Pillow Talk. You guys, I know it's expensive. It's not necessary for most people, but I really love it. Okay, it's not too creamy, so it's not gonna slip and slide everywhere, but it's not super hard like a MAC pencil, so you don't have to like, you know, it just shows up. It has nice pigmentation, it shows up. It's a beautiful natural shade. So it just really, you can overline your lips if you want and it's gonna look okay, like it's not gonna look weird. Or you just use it regularly. You can use it all over your lips and put a gloss on top. It's such a beautiful color and it's just so easy to use. I really, really love this and have been using it all month. I think I'm gonna put it in my favorites, spoiler. This Guerlain Maxi Lash Mascara, I love this as well. So this brush is, I don't know, you guys, like sometimes the simplest of brushes do the best job. Do you find that? I find like when you get like a really crazy, weird brush, a lot of the times it's a whole bunch of nothing. But just like a regular, nice brush just does something sometimes. So anyway, this I think is really, really good at separating and lengthening. In terms of volume, I mean, it does a little bit, but it's not like the most voluminous mascara, but it definitely separates. It looks really beautiful. So I've been using this a lot and loving it too. The Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Powder. This is in the shade 25 Nude Beige. This I've been loving a lot. The theme of this is that most of these things are really great, which is nice to find. Like, none of these are really super disappointing, and a lot of them are fantastic. So this powder I think is really nice. It actually applies really well with this sponge, but I have used it with a brush many times too, and it's just a really nice setting powder. It's really good if you are oily, just a really great powder. This Guerlain Radiance Concentrate with Pure Gold Primer. This was a 100-point perk as well. I've used this quite a few times. I think it's really good for longevity. This is supposed to like help firm your skin. I personally haven't found that, but then again, that is not really my skin issue either, so maybe I'm not the best person to report on that part of it. But I do like it. It's good. It's a good primer, but I'm not going to tell you to go run out and buy it. And then the very last thing is the Covergirl CleanMatte BB Cream for oily skin. You guys, you know I have super oily skin. I have been using this to death over the last 3 weeks. Like, I have been using this so much. It's so nice. It actually has surprisingly a lot of coverage to it, but it doesn't make your skin like it really helps prevent those oils from coming through, and it's a really light texture. Lasts all day. The lasting power on this is really good. So for a drugstore option, if you have oily skin, I would highly suggest going out, picking this up and trying it out. It's really great. So overall, I think there were way more hits than misses in this pile of first impressions that I did. Anyway, you guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day today, and thank you so much for spending time with me and watching my video. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time. Bye!